Welcome to the Covert Narcissism podcast. I'm your host, Renee Swanson. I am not a therapist, and you are not a victim.
A client recently said to me, I always thought that my dad was the greatest man I knew. He wasn't like the loud, aggressive fathers that some of my friends had. He didn't yell at me. He didn't hit me or even threaten to. He didn't call me names. Instead, he was quiet. He seemed patient. But he always played the victim. I didn't see it back then, but looking back now, I realize it. He never raised his voice because he didn't have to. His silence was louder than any scream. Well, today I want to talk about what life might look like if you are raised under a covert narcissistic father. He might seem caring, charming, supportive, and you might even think that he only wants what's best for you. But things just feel off, and his silence is very harmful and piercing to you. So let's talk about this. When you're growing up with a dad who, he's not just a father, he's actually like a presence, always there and always watching. Maybe at school you work hard to impress him, making sure that you get straight A's, making sure you bring home hundreds on all the exams and tests. Maybe you're the captain of the soccer team, volunteering for anything you can, whatever you thought would make him proud. And then when you succeed, you get a, hey, that's my boy, or that's my girl, and he ruffles your hair with a proud smile on his face. But something just seems off here. Now, you don't realize it when you're a child. This shows up later, but it's a weight that comes with that approval, because you know that the moment you don't meet his expectation, that everything looks a lot different. The mood shifts. So if you get a 90 on a test, for example, you don't get, hey, I'm really proud of you. Great job. Instead, he looks through the test for the answers that you missed. Why didn't you get 100? You're better than that. If you score a goal in a soccer game, but you miss another goal, instead of praise and, hey, I love it, you're doing a great job out there, you could have had 2. Don't settle for less. Next time, get that second shot. You see, they don't shout and they don't get angry, and their words can sound supportive of, hey, you could do better than this. But instead, it feels like a punch to the gut. It's like a disappointment. It's like now you've got to scramble to make sure that you're doing good enough for him. You scramble to make sure that you can earn back his praise and his attention and his affirmations. When you're a child of a covert narcissistic father, dad isn't just a father, he's actually an idol. You see, other kids might rebel, but you don't. You want to be the son or the daughter that he's proud of. Even when you start making your own choices, you now make sure that your choices align with what he wants. Because you see, a covert narcissistic parent, they put themselves as the center of your universe. Everything you do is weighed against their response, their reactions, their thoughts. So you pick his favorite college. You pick the kind of people to date that he will approve of. You plan a future that would make him happy. And when you do this, you do things that are within his desires and wishes for you, then things are great. You get all kinds of affirmations and praise. But when they're not, when you don't do things that line up with his vision, there's a shift. Maybe you decide to go to a different college. You don't go to the college that you know is his favorite. Well, he'll sigh and shake his hand and shake his head and say, I just thought you were smarter than that, but I guess I'm wrong. I'm sure you'll do good at that school too. Maybe you start to date someone that he doesn't like or he doesn't approve of. And he'll smile tightly and say, I just hope you don't end up regretting it. But it's your life. If you want to make mistakes, I won't stop you. You've got to learn from life and you've got to learn from your mistakes. So it isn't direct control, and it might even come across as he's giving you the space to be you, but not really. Because what you get is disappointment, doubt, and quiet punishment. A lingering silence that makes you question everything. You doubt everything. You doubt your decisions now. Maybe you were excited about the college that you've picked to go to, but now you walk away feeling like you just got punched. And instead you're thinking, man, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe he's right. And you're now weighing your decision, everything, against his response, his reactions, and his thoughts. As you get a little older in life, and now you're an adult child of a covert narcissistic father, the moment that you really start to realize it, it isn't something dramatic. It's not a big grand fight. It's not a big falling out. It's not a major betrayal. In fact, it's usually something small. Maybe it's your first job after college, and now you're sitting in your apartment, you're staring at your phone, you've just gotten the news, and you're so excited about this position and this job offer. It's the kind of thing you call home about. And you do. But your dad, he barely reacts. Oh, that's great. I suppose that means you're going to be busy now. I guess I shouldn't expect too many phone calls or visits anymore. What? No, I'm proud of you. No, hey, you earned this. No, hey, great job. I can't wait to see how this goes. I hope you love it. No, just a quiet little stab, a subtle reminder that your success has somehow hurt him. And suddenly, what you see, you can't unsee. You now start to see the pattern unfold. Every time you succeeded, you felt guilty. You felt like you were abandoning him. Anytime you made a choice for yourself, you felt like you were hurting him. Every time you felt happy, you feared that it would cost you his love. And so now it hits you. His love has always been conditional. Well, in those, young adulthood years, maybe you start to challenge this. Maybe you start to test it. Many of us do. So maybe you call home one night just to talk, not to impress him, not to sing his praises, not to prove anything, not to, share some great accomplishment you have, just a normal conversation. But it's hard to have. It's hard to keep it moving because the moment it doesn't steer towards achievements or plans, the conversation kind of dies. And he might say, well, okay, I guess you don't have anything to talk about. But those words sting. It's the proof you need, but it's not the proof you wanted. I didn't want to be right. You didn't want your worth to him never to be about you. It hasn't been about you. You see, your worth to him has been about what you could provide to him. And that's when it starts to dawn on you. Your worth to him is about what you could accomplish that makes him look like a good dad, that makes him feel good as a parent. Now, there's nothing wrong with feeling good as a parent, but that should not be your driving force for your interactions with your child. You see, your role as a parent, it should be about your child. Well, the final straw might come when you turn down a job offer that's in your hometown and instead go to a position that's across the country. And you're excited about your new job offer, but in this conversation, his words are, wow, so you're leaving us. He doesn't say, congratulations, I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you to go see the world. No, instead it's all guilt. Instead it's, all focused on him. You're leaving us. You're leaving me. Poor me, victim mode. And maybe for the first time, you don't try to fix it. You don't scramble to make him feel better. You just say, yeah, I guess I am. You see, walking away isn't easy. The guilt doesn't just disappear. You're still going to feel that pull to check in, to make sure that he's not mad and to keep earning his love. But I encourage you to ask yourself, why are you the only one fighting for this relationship? Why does it feel like you have to earn his love and that you're the only one pushing for that connection? Love is not something you should have to earn. It isn't something that should feel like a debt. Maybe for years you thought your dad was a hero, and in a way he was, just not in the way that you thought. You see, he did teach you something valuable, not how to be strong or successful or disciplined, but how to recognize the kind of love that you no longer want in your life. Love without freedom isn't love. Love without acceptance isn't love. Love that makes you feel guilty for being happy, well, that's not love either. And if you grew up with a parent like this, I want you to know that you are not selfish for putting yourself first. You are not cruel for setting boundaries. You do not have to carry the weight of their happiness. It is okay to step away. It is okay to live life for you. And most of all, it's okay to be happy. If this story resonates with you, you're not alone. Many adult children of covert narcissists struggle with the guilt, the self-doubt, the fear of disappointing a parent who was never truly there for them. But your life is yours. Your happiness is yours. And if you're ready to start healing, reach out. Reach out and send me an email. Check out my coaching services. You can find my website at covertnarcissism.com. 4 weeks in my individual healing program will guide you through the steps of reframing your internal dialogue, stopping the ruminating thoughts, claiming your mental and emotional energy for yourself, giving you the freedom to be you, not to destroy your relationship with your parents, but rather to embrace your relationship with you. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing.
You have been listening to the Covert Narcissism podcast. If you are struggling with covert narcissism in your life, I help people to heal from covert narcissistic abuse. If you are struggling with the isolation, the self-doubt, and the obsessive thinking, then this is the program for you. I offer both group and individual options. This is live, personalized coaching that is specific to covert narcissism. Reach out to me anytime. You can find me at my website, covertnarcissism.com. I'm not a therapist and you are not a victim. I am a coach and you are a survivor. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. The information provided by Renee Swanson and the Covert Narcissism podcast is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes and not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. It does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support an allegation or a claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of the material and information provided.